So I had a whole pitch planned for today, and there were like slides and graphs, and there were numbers. I'm not really feeling it. I'm feeling kind of tired and sad and angry these days. And so instead, I just want to tell you about the worst day of my life. And the worst day of my life was my senior year in college. And I walked into my campus security center, and I told the stranger sitting across from me about my sexual assault to make my report. And I saw the doubt in his eyes. And something inside me kind of just broke, kind of disintegrated. And it was something that I'd held strong sort of during the assault itself and seeing my assailant around campus and all that other stuff you have to deal with as a survivor. But realizing that the people in the institutions that were supposed to be there to protect me just couldn't. That's kind of what broke me. I think we talk a lot about how bad rape is, and I think we all get that. But I think we're just beginning to talk about how our response to it as a society is even worse. Because our response to it is totally within our control. It's our choice. And the response to sexual assault and harassment that we've chosen results in a survivor having to relive their experience over and over again while telling a series of strangers about it, who are looking for inconsistencies in their testimony. And even once you've gone through all that, the prosecutor probably won't take your case because there are, as the sort of cop told me, two sides to every story. And while sexual assault is the most witnessed crime, we don't consider survivors as credible witnesses in their own rape. And this process that we've chosen results in 99% of rapists getting away with it, because less than 10% are ever reported, and when they are, only 6% spend a single day in prison, despite the fact that the vast majority, 85% of college survivors know their assailant, right? They're Facebook friends with them. They can point them out easily. So what do we do about it? A year and a half ago, my team and I launched an online sexual assault reporting system called Callisto. And the way it works is pretty simple. College survivors can go to their school-specific Callisto website. They can learn about their reporting options and what process to expect if they go forward with the school versus the police. They can save what happened to them in a time-stamped record, so they can preserve evidence even if they wait a while to report. I waited over a year to report my assault, by which time it's really hard to remember all of the details of everything that went down, right? They can report electronically, rather than having that first step be to go in person, or they can decide to report only if someone else names the same assailant. And that's where things start to get really interesting, because 90% of sexual assaults are committed by repeat assailants, who on average commit 6 assaults each. But as a survivor, you have no good way of knowing whether or not what happened to you is an isolated incident or a pattern of behavior. So it's really easy to blame yourself and think like, well, I shouldn't have flirted, or I should have said no stronger or louder or sooner, or I should have fought back, or I should have fought back harder, right? But if you know that you're not the only one, that kind of changes everything. It changes your motivation to report. It changes the way you frame your own experience. It means that if you do go forward, you'll have someone else's back, and they'll have yours. So we launched this on 2 college campuses, and in our pilot year, the reporting rate quadrupled. It quadrupled, which was way more than we were expecting. And that time-stamped record meant then that survivors, rather than having to relive their own experience over and over again, investigators would just read that testimony and ask clarifying questions, making the entire process for them far more empowering, far less re-traumatizing, and more likely to result in justice. Right now, we're on 7 college campuses. And we want to grow this system. We want to grow Callisto to not just every single college campus in the United States, but to every institution where sexual assault is all too common. And really, that's everywhere, right? And as we grow, we can create these cultures of accountability. We can create these cultures of support. We can create these cultures where there's an actual deterrent to violating the rights of another human being. So I stand here today kind of sad and tired and angry, but I'm also hopeful, because the way we respond to sexual assault is a choice. It's our choice. It's a system that we decide to create, and the people in this room have the power to choose differently. My name is Jess Ladd, and I want to support survivors and end rape. And I need you to join me. Thank you.